Hi, today I want to show you how to do a brioche purl left slanting decrease that crosses the beginning of the round. So to do this, I have a piece of brioche that I am knitting in the round, and I want to be working with, in this case, my dark colored yarn, but it's whichever yarn you're going to be doing your brioche purls with at that point in your pattern. And in order to do this, you can see I'm at my beginning of the round marker, and my light color is dropped to the back of the work from when I finished that round. And to start, I'm going to take this first stitch of the round and just put it onto a stitch marker and take that off of the needle. And I'm going to hold that to the front of the work. And then I'm going to save that to be worked at the end of the round, and I'm going to simply work the rest of my round until I get back to the end of the round, and I will work the decrease at that point. Okay, so you can see now that I have worked around my round, and I am nearly back to my beginning of the round marker here. And I want to work until I have just 2 stitches left. So I'm going to work a brioche purl and a slip 1 yarn over, and I now have just 2 stitches left before the end of my my round. So the first thing I want to do is now put this stitch that was on the holder back on the needles, and I want to be careful to do that, attending to the orientation of the stitch. So I've got that back on and it's oriented the right way, although you'll see in a minute that you can do a shortcut if you don't want to do that. So I now have my stitch added back on there and the last 2 stitches of the row. And now I'm going to work the purl decrease. So I need my working yarn to the front. I slip the first stitch purlwise, the next 2 stitches knitwise, and then I return those 2 stitches to the left hand needle. And because this last light colored stitch here is the last stitch that I knit in that yarn, it's getting a bit loose, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a tug to keep it tightened up. And now I want to purl these 2 stitches together through the back loop. And pass, I like to do it from the back, but I think it's easier to see from the front, pass the first slip stitch over those 2 stitches that you just purled together. And you now have a decrease that incorporated that first stitch of the round with the last 2 stitches of the round. And make sure to check your pattern to determine whether that stitch should now be before or after this beginning of the round marker. If you're knitting the Hidden Forest hat, that is now going to become the first stitch of your round. And you can just slip that back here and begin working with your light colored yarn, bringing that to the front and working your first slip 1 yarn over and continuing on. Okay, so you can see now I've worked my way around in the light color after doing that decrease spanning the beginning of the round. So I'm going to drop my light color to the back, pick up my dark color, and in the first stitch of that next round, I'm just going to purl into that same stitch that the yarn is coming out of. So it's a little bit counterintuitive. And then I'll be able to just continue working my round as described in the pattern. But you can see it creates a decrease that looks just like a brioche purl decrease that's not done at the beginning of the round. So hopefully this helps and makes it a bit easier to get through doing some of those unusually placed decreases. Happy knitting!